born, a lad that little did anyone there know would grow up to have one of the wildest stories ever. And more than that though, he would confuse literally every single person around him about what the gender he even was, so much so that there was a multi-nation-wide betting pool opened on whether he was even a man or not, because he was so overly feminine compared to every other man around him. In in 18th century France. You know, when the male population looked like this. So basically like this. As a child, Charles d'Eon de Beaumont excelled in school and was actually a practicing lawyer and writer by the time he turned 20. In fact, there are accounts that the only question he ever got wrong on a test was this. I am not calling him that. That shit is too long, bro. Okay, that's better. But by a couple of years later, by the time he'd turned like 25, he'd already climbed basically every rung on the parasocial ladder. Parasocial ladder.
It's both me and Kaya with the marching band! Dude, yes, I'm seeing this, dude, that's crazy! I'm spamming W's right now!
To the point where he was being questioned on his sex very regularly, which was honestly just something he dealt with throughout basically his entire life, including from, Louis XV. You know, the King of France himself, who in 1756, at the start of the 7 Years' War, which was a conflict that would become very important in d'Eon's life pretty soon, would invite him to a big, fancy royal party, where Louis apparently tried to seduce him, thinking he was a woman. Which, of course, makes no fucking sense, because, you know, he was the one that invited him. So I guess it was kind of like that time that my uncle swore he thought I was 18, right underneath the big happy 9th birth. So a little while after the party, Louis would get in contact with d'Eon again and request for him to join Le Secret de... I don't fucking know how you would say that in French. The real secret is why anyone would want to speak French, which was like a secret network of spies that was entirely separate from the government and under direct control of Louis XV. So imagine kind of like totally spies, but like make them men. I didn't say make them look different. So since you've already proven to be a master of deception, able to trick even my royal eye, and trick anything, okay? You knew I was a guy. No. You literally said, it's ironic we call them feels because that's the last thing I do to a girl. And then you said that, and then you said facts when someone said that the gas in garçon must mean turn. You literally introduced yourself by saying that they call you that because you've had a little wee-wee in your mouth 15 times. That's a fruit from One Piece, okay? The wee-wee fruit. You're a fruit. You know what? Just for that, I'm sending you to Russia for your first mission. Besides, they've got a fucking female emperor anyway. Fucking soft-ass girly country, perfect for a softy bitch like you. So d'Eon was sent on his first diplomatic mission to the soft-ass girly country of Russia, where he went undercover as a woman, becoming the Tsar's maid of honor. And they did all the normal girl stuff. You know, makeup, giggling, men discussing where they would send hundreds of thousands of those men to die. Man, thank God Russia had a female ruler at the time. They might have started a war there. Anyway, while he was there, d'Eon also convinced Elizabeth to broker an alliance between the French and Russians and stopped her from attacking the French-allied Austrians, which would cement the Russian Empire firmly on the side of the French against the English. But by the early 1760s, the 7 Years' War had reached its peak and Russia was still bleak, so d'Eon got it in his head that he wanted to be a soldier and fight on the front lines. I'm assuming because he just added sway a massive empire to his country's side onto the win list, but yeah, this was not a good idea. He was just cocky as shit. Oh, what? Dude, no way. Because his tenure as a soldier didn't go well. It started successfully enough, with d'Eon being given the title of captain and fighting in quite a few battles, during which he actually built up a pretty decent reputation, even capturing a small Prussian force. but a couple of months after joining, he was seriously injured during his last battle, and considering his history up until this point, this was probably the first time that Dion had been truly humbled. Hello there, Your Majesty. It has been quite a while. I must not have seen you in an eon. Hey, unfortunately. You should have seen the way he captured that Prussian squad. He took probably 1,000 men at once. This was just very unfortunate that he was shot, but he took those pair of balls to the backside like a champion. So Dion would be forced to sit on the sidelines and watch as Louis and the French defeated the English, finally ending the 7 Years' War. But at least they could all return to their ordinary lives. Oh, dude, the meme's already dead. I'm sorry, I only have a budget of like $3. I only have less in my piggy bank. Why are you hating on me? See, look, it's your mom. Oh, look, it's my dick. So yeah, as I was saying, Dion had to sit on the sidelines and watch as Louis won the war while he was just, you know, doing nothing. Probably exceedingly pissed off. But regardless, Dion was about to be sent back to Russia to continue his old position, serving under the new Tsar, Peter III, when the strangest thing happened. His wife deposed him. Which seems like an odd thing for a member of the gender that can do nothing wrong to do. Maybe she just like asked him not. Ooh. Yikes. So instead, Dion was given a new mission. Okay, what do I have to do? Me. Dude, could you please stop? That wasn't even funny, it was just tasteless. What? Tasteless? Please don't. So Dion was sent to England to help finalize Louis's treaty to end the 7 Years' War, as well as gather intel for an invasion that the king was planning by weaseling his way into the English nobility and becoming buddy-buddy with King George. Anyway, of course, as you and probably Louis would expect, a soft and feminine femboy Frenchie like Dion in England would be absolutely fucking great. Yeah, fuck you, buddy. Dion actually had a great time in England, probably because one, like the grand old time he had in Russia, he was keyword, not in France, and therefore not near Louis, and because two, his mission was f***ing easy, dude. So yeah, Dion would very, very easily succeed in his mission because the British public were on basically every level exceedingly simple, and they also really liked him. Not to mention the fact that Dion kind of liked them back. It was like taking candy from a diabetic baby with no arms or legs that's also dead. Wow, you look just like woman. Yeah, I know. No, you're way too f***ing pretty for that. Nah, mate, women are bare butters. Sounds like a Care Bear. I was gonna say attractive. Oh my god, this is gonna be f***ing easy. Okay, so what do you need me to do? I'm a published writer, so I can spell. Oh, and can you also read specifically the writing on the wall? There you are, Your Majesty. Beautifully aged wine, fresh from the vines of my estate. Ah, delicious. And, what percent was this made with again? Oh, 13%. Ugh, dude, what the hell? 13% alcohol is like completely normal. Wait, what do you mean alcohol? So yeah, Dion would find himself slipping into the nobility via gifts of wine, and also because of his minor celebrity status, which he was garnering by going about his days, showing off his military outfit and dueling skills to basically everyone that would listen, and generally just being a unique figure in England. Literally. Basically, to summarize, probably against everyone's, including his own expectations, Dion had made a comfortable home in his new country. But unfortunately, as Dion was living it up in England, he forgot one crucial, critical fact about England. It's right next to France, where Louis's hater mindset would simply not just allow Dion to be happy. So he sent over one of d'Eon's rivals in the court of France, the Count of Guerchy, who he'd installed as the new ambassador, and he also came with orders demoting d'Eon to the position of secretary and ordering his return to France, because of course Louis would want his ass at secretary. Actually, let's be real. Scratch off the at secretary. So when d'Eon was finally fully happy and living his best life, Louis just had to him over. d'Eon had finally found a comfortable place to live and just relax after the war, and Louis just had to him over. So of course, with this last, final you, d'Eon got pissed. Seriously pissed. He sent the king a letter demanding to be given his position back and claiming that Guerchy had attempted to drug him, and in response Louis basically just said, LMAO, I do the same thing, now shut up and get that cute ass back here, thinking absolutely nothing of it. Until just a little while later when he would get back d'Eon's final letter. After years of dealing with his bullshit, d'Eon would finally take a stand against Louis and adamantly refuse to return to France. Of course, this would not go over even remotely well with the king, so he started quickly writing up and publishing the letters that he and Louis had exchanged since his demotion under Guerchy, as well as the Count's alleged attempts to drug and murder d'Eon. Of course, because d'Eon had become kind of a beloved figure in England, this sent the English public into a rage, and a mob would form and gather outside the ambassador's house, essentially trapping him inside. And not only that, but d'Eon would threaten to release all of Louis's designs for the planned invasion straight to the English king. The furious king, seemingly in desperation, would outlaw d'Eon, who would quickly slip back into his role as a woman, becoming basically undetectable to the few in England that would even try to hand him in. At this point, d'Eon was probably exceedingly confident, but Louis would then use his ace in the hole to show why you should not try and over the King of France. Louis would demand that King George return d'Eon to the hands of the French immediately, unless he wanted to suffer the full wrath of the King of France. You know, the nation that had just defeated England in the 7 Years' War. And of course, up until this point, d'Eon had deluded himself into thinking that he could basically wage war with the crown of France. But let's be real. Without an army, that was not happening. Louis would quickly get back George's letter, in which he would submit to the authority of the one true power in Europe. The king in England completely and utterly refused to hand d'Eon over to the French crown. So with d'Eon untraceable somewhere in England, King George refusing to cooperate, and Louis's greatest connection in England held hostage in his own home, he was in an unwinnable situation. d'Eon had essentially checkmated his own king, and Louis would have no option but to submit to his demands. d'Eon would force Louis to return Guerchy to France, so that's a win-win, I guess, as well as restore him to his position as ambassador and supply him with a large pension. And with that, with the war over and Louis taken care of, d'Eon would return to his comfortable life in England, a free man, going about his days drinking wine, dueling, and hanging out with the nobles, because he's just so quirky like that. XD. While Louis would spend the rest of his days watching over his grandson and successor, who had kind of the same issue as him. He also didn't get any head. In fact, he got negative head. It kind of turned into this whole thing. It was pretty bad. Actually, it was really bad. Fuck. The peasants are revolting. When are they not? My wife is too busy kissing women and wanting to give bread away to the poor. I don't do either of those. How could France possibly get any worse? So I guess if you take all that into consideration, maybe Louis did get what he wanted. Because Dion f***ed him. If that was even possible, which it might not be, because holy f***, Dion might be a woman. No! So not long after he beat Louis, rumors actually started to swirl around both London and France that Dion actually wasn't an unusually feminine man, but an unusually masculine woman. Oh no! This probably came from the fact that, one, they were in England and trying to differentiate between an English woman and an English man is like trying to find a needle in a needle stack. It's confusing, painful. They're less pricks than one would imagine, which means that the British, when it comes to the whole judging gender thing, might have had a little twisted. And two, they would, and when I say they, I mean Dion, like I said before, sometimes wear their army uniform around the place while also wearing women's clothes. So yeah, it kind of turned into this whole thing. And so, men or women? You're probably wondering what the answer is. And bro, Allen Iverson, yeah, I have no fucking idea. We know that they were biologically male because of like autopsies and stuff, which like, do not let me near that position or I will put the top in autopsy. So they were either like a femboy or a trans woman. So definitely going to hell. But yeah, I don't think there's really any way to tell because Dion seemed okay with living as both a guy or a girl and also never just, you know, did the obvious thing and pick up the dress to confirm. I also don't think they ever confirmed their gender in their memoirs other than saying that they were biologically female. Which, no. So, yeah, we truly just don't know what Dion was. Other than just extraordinarily weird, like, all of this actually happened. Like, I felt like I was writing a fiction book when I wrote this.
He's poor. For me, he's poor. Okay? Poor! Poor! Okay? I'm sorry. Many people will not agree with this. Many people will say, are you insane?
Dick gang in my ass at all times. I don't know who I fucked last night, but they all guys. I don't know who I fucked last night, but they all fine. I don't know who I fucked last night. They probably got Alzheimer's. So today's story starts when in 455 AD, Rome was actually really great. Actually, they had a stable emperor who had been ruling for 4 years at this point. The finances were good, the birds were chirping, everyone was just chilling, everything was great. Oh, wait, guys. Wrong Rome. Yeah, this is the east. We need to be talking about the west. Yeah. Makes more sense. So the last, honestly, the last forever had been pretty sucky for the Western Romans, but as of recent, things have gotten even worse. The dumbass emperor killed the actually competent Magister Militum, basically just like head general, remember this, it'll be important later. And then said emperor was killed in retaliation for that, so this senator, Petronius Maximus, decided he'll be the next emperor.
If you are Petronius Maximus, you're gonna have a bad time.
Anyway, so Vandals invade Rome, and whatever his name is tries to run away, he dies. So after the barbarians steal all of Rome's shit, the Romans have to pick a new emperor, but it's the late Roman Empire, so another group of barbarians pick the emperor for them, which is honestly just depressing. Anyway, boom, this is Avitus, and he's the emperor at the start of our story. Now that you're finally caught up, I can introduce these two. Flavius Maiorianus, aka Flavius Majorianus, aka Majorian, and Flavius Ricimer, aka backstabbing, emperor-killing, best friend betraying cunt, aka just cunt. But I feel the need to loop back to the emperor, because why was he such a hater? They're best buddies who met while they were in the Roman army serving under this guy. Remember him? Yeah. Anyway, there's currently Avitus's Magister Militum, but things weren't going so hot for Avitus since the Eastern Roman Emperor was, doing that thing that little kids do where you like pretend that your friend's invisible when they piss you off. And if the East doesn't recognize you, then you don't count, which is bad news for our boy Avitus. So since Ricimer was in the know about the situation as the Magister Militum, he and Majorian decided that they were going to fucking murder Avitus. In fact, they didn't just kill him, they apparently starved him to death just for shits and gigs, which, to be honest, is kind of on brand for this guy. So now that the Emperor is dead, normally this would be the part where Ricimer would bash Majorian over the head with a rock and steal the spot like the little scurrying, conniving bit rat that he was. But, key point, Ricimer was actually a barbarian himself, at least ethnically. His dad was a Suevi while his mum was a Visigoth, which raises the question, can his dad fight? Which means that under Roman law, he actually can't be emperor himself, so he's gonna need puppets. Not like real puppets, puppet emperors for him to control by putting his hand inside of their anuses. So Ricimer let Majorian have the emperorship without complaint, at least for now. And Majorian's already restored half the fucking empire. And now I can finally get to the bit where this gets even somewhat interesting. So as it turns out, Majorian was actually a really, really good emperor. Like, really fucking good. He immediately started issuing reforms to fix Rome's broken everything before setting off to campaign against the barbarians, where he essentially immediately restores most of Rome's old holdings in Western Europe by putting down the Suevian and Gothic empires back to back. Basically, just imagine like 2016 LeBron in the finals, but put Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love on the other fucking team. This shit is insane. He essentially doubled the Western Roman borders that had been shrinking for centuries at this point, just like that, and he still wasn't done, as he geared up to put the icing on the cake by taking back Africa for the Romans. This man was on a Blade in 2020 run, but unfortunately, even a generational run like this can be ended by an even more generational hater. Back in his fucking goon cave,
guys,
Ricimer was
Mr.
being
Beast
a
here coming up.
baby as usual. How dare that Chad Majorian retake Rome? All the Romans want is a 6-foot Chad Aryan Roman. What the fuck is a swarty, non-6-foot German chud like me to do when I'm getting mogged like this? Damn it. Billions must die. Billions must die! Well, actually only one, but that's like that's the thing that people say. So as Majorian was preparing his grand finale, an invasion of Africa, and the Vandals that had come to rule it, his fleet was set alight by traders under the command of the Vandal king, and just like that, Majorian's chance at fully rebuilding the Roman Empire literally burnt to a cinder right before his own eyes. How sad. I wonder how Ricimer was dealing with the situation.
Made me happy, made me smile.
Wahoo! Dear Majorian, meet me at the place Tots won't kill you. So after testing the full damage a couple of times, Majorian headed to Daytona to meet up with Ricimer, and when they did, well... Dude, what the fuck? Why would you stab me? You know what? What? I don't care about your name. You don't have any riz at all. You ugly, Germanic, bullcut piece of shit. Fuck you, Flavius Ricimer, if that's even your real name. Ian Hecox of Smosh. Don't you dare call me Ian Hecox. You major anus. Kill me, okay?
What if instead of ninja, my name was nigga, and instead of shooting scars and drinking chug jugs, I shot up ops and drank lean in real life?
Nah, I'm just kidding. He didn't actually murder his best friend in day one in cold blood. He just ordered him to be tortured for damn near a week, and then he died him. I hate this motherfucker so much, bro. I swear to God. So after betraying, so after murdering, so after doing what was best for the Empire, Ricimer put this guy, Libius Severus, on the throne. You might actually have to remember his... Oh, what's that? Oh, the Eastern Roman Emperor arbitrarily decided this guy doesn't count either. Wow, I wonder what Ricimer was gonna do. Oh, hey, look, he was found with 49 stab wounds to the chest with a sticky note next to him that says, "Not Ricimer," and an arrow pointing to his dead body. Wow. Well, at least we know Ricimer didn't do this. So now that Libius Severus was conveniently unavailable, the Eastern Roman Emperor decided, frick all this, here you go, and sent them a gift-wrapped, built-in, solid Emperor, Anthemius, an aging military commander, along with an experienced general in Marcellinus, who hated Ricimer because of his love of Majorian. He is just like
That
me,
is so
for
sus,
real.
guy.
To sort out the whole situation, which, by the way, means situation if anyone just joined the stream. I wish I had a cool accent like Majorianus. I wish I... Military commander, along with an experienced general in Marseille. My accent's just gay. So the two of them told Ricimer to sit in the naughty corner and think about what he did while they sorted out the whole fandango in Africa. Oh, what's that? Their entire fleet also burned down. Well, fuck me then. No, go away. I don't want to talk about this anymore. What? Ricimer's literally marching on Rome? Of course he is. You heard it here first, folks. Ricimer is such a hater that the second he thought there would be an opportunity for him to murder another emperor in cold blood, he came running. Ricimer sacked Rome. He laid siege to the eternal city. He slaughtered his own people. He did what was best for the Roman people. Fucking... Why would you hold that opinion? And then a few months later, right on the precipice of the end of the Western Roman Empire to the hands of the German general Odoacer, something Ricimer essentially hand-delivered it to himself, he passed away in peace of natural causes right before things went to shit. You cannot make this shit up. Indians, you fell off so hard with this whole karma thing, dude, I swear to God. I just know for a fact the jumping this man received in hell, if it exists, was insane.